Hi, this is Thoughts on UX. My name is Tony Hyun. I'm the Director of UX, UI, and CXA at Royal Cyber Digital Consulting. I've been involved in design and user experience for 20 years. Well, actually, 20 years is all I'm going to admit to because actually it's quite a bit longer than that. But during my career, I've worked on both the agency side and the client side, helping create digital strategies and building brands. I've worked with companies like Visa, Intel Play, Sears, and Columbia Sportswear. And I even helped a company called AOL. Remember those guys? I helped them move outside of their walled garden into the brave new world of HTML. Now I direct a holistic team of practitioners that represent Royal Cyber Digital Consulting, and we've decided to play it forward and share some of our thoughts accumulated through years of experience in all of these different disciplines. In our RCDC YouTube channel, you can find podcasts in UX research and design, UI development, customer experience analysis, and business analysis. And if you like what you hear, you can subscribe and you will be alerted every time we publish a new podcast. Okay, now I'm going to share my thoughts on UX. We're going to discuss mobile first and share 3 case studies where we helped clients realize that their redesign should really include a mobile first approach. Our goal is to plant some mobile first seeds in your brains so you can make smart decisions about your website in the future. At the end of the podcast, we'll summarize all of our key takeaways. Okay. The term mobile first or mobile first design has been around since 2009 when Google's product director Luke Wobeliski first coined the phrase in his book Mobile First. His approach turned web design upside down. Up to this point, designers always started their web designs with the desktop, and the mobile experience was a result of responsiveness. This approach was fine-tuned when mobile became the device of choice. Wobeliski argued that the changing landscape dictated optimizing the mobile experience first, and then through graceful enhancement, figure out the desktop experience. Really, really bold thinking for the time, but so right. 15 years later, you'd think we'd have this approach down by now. But what we've been finding is that there is still a misunderstanding of this approach. And what is more alarming is that companies are not considering a mobile-first approach when the evidence for doing so is actually staring them in the face. Okay, when should you consider using a mobile-first approach? And, I know this sounds like common sense, but when your audience dictates it, they will tell you through their actions. Pretty simple, but often ignored. Now, my primary area of expertise is e-commerce. I'd say if you're in retail and not considering a mobile first approach, you're kind of missing the boat. And oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. I almost forgot. There is another option to mobile first that allows you to optimize for mobile, and it's called adaptive design. And essentially, adaptive design is exactly what the name implies. The design adapts to the device. It's what Amazon uses. It's effective, but it's really expensive because you're not using a single code base. Now, we're going to get into adaptive design in later episodes, but suffice to say that you need to think long and hard before you go down this path. Why is mobile so important in retail? Because it's where your customers are. A UX friend of mine once said that mobile isn't about a device, it's about a place. Customers shop from where they want to shop, not from where you want them to shop, and now it's everywhere. So for one of our clients, this was the reality that was staring them in the face, but they were reluctant, to go down the mobile first path, which I can completely empathize with. It is completely unfamiliar. Now, we offer a free assessment we call the 9-point assessment, where we look at the health of your site through 3 lenses: functionality, user experience, and technical architecture. The reason I mention this is that we take all of our top priority recommendations and put them in an interactive prototype so you could see what they look like in the real world. Now, this is a perfect way to visualize something new and unfamiliar, and it's what we used for this retail client. And they could immediately see the potential of adopting a mobile first approach. Sometimes it takes more than insights into customer behavior to motivate clients to consider a mobile first approach. Sometimes it takes seeing the money that's left on the table by not doing it. Another assessment we sometimes attach to a 9-point assessment we call a CXA assessment. And in a CXA assessment, we look for those friction points that may be affecting conversion. For a client in the technical manufacturing market, we perform both a 9-point assessment and a CXA assessment. Now, the power of doing both of these assessments together is that they complement each other so well. It allows us to further fine-tune our recommendations. Now, in our CXA assessment, it was discovered that due to a subpar mobile experience, up to $6 million were not being realized in revenue. We suggested considering a mobile first approach and came in with a mobile first prototype. Now, the prototype was extremely challenging to execute on mobile. Besides having a huge product catalog, there were multiple ways to configure their products. But of course, we knew that to be successful on mobile, the experience needed to be extremely simple, comprehensive, and fast. We designed a series of smart filters that allowed engineers to start their browse journey with multiple product catalogs, but drill down quickly by choosing single attributes. We also redesigned the configuration process through a simple, progressive, step-by-step process that didn't allow users to make mistakes, saving time and eliminating frustration. And finally, we introduced a chatbot configuration tool that was honestly perfect for mobile. Having a configuration tool that allowed customers to use prompts to immediately fine-tune their search and then have a conversation to complete the configuration process was amazing. We feel, honestly, that AI in mobile is such a natural extension that we're actually recommending it in most of our assessments. But more on this in future podcasts. Okay. Our third example of a client that absolutely needed to consider a mobile-first approach was a client that wanted to build up their omni-channel experience. Start with the customer relationship on digital, then drive conversion in their brick-and-mortar stores. In their brand vision document, it was clear when they mentioned digital, they really meant mobile, and our research bore this out. Their audience was continually moving more and more to mobile, but they were being frustrated due to the complexity of the product finders and the challenge of doing research on a mobile device. Our solution again used AI, and we created a virtual product expert that worked with customers in a non-salesy and non-intimidating way to help them find the right products. But more importantly, this AI-assisted buying experience helped create a customer profile that followed the customers into the stores so associates could continue the buying experience seamlessly. So maybe not a pure mobile-first approach, but certainly having an optimized mobile experience improved the quality of the overall customer experience. Okay, so what should you take away from all of this? Probably don't rely on responsiveness as a mobile strategy, but also remember that it's not that hard to validate a mobile first approach. As with anything else related to UX, first ask yourself, is a mobile first approach something your customers would want and need? Now, once you've had the answer to this, you're well on your way to delighting your customers and maybe picking up some of that money you've left on the table.